Girls, boys, to more tyranny, where things are getting spicy. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, yes. It is not going to be an easy fight here. I don't think so at all. So, let's have a quick look what we've got and make sure everyone's in the best state possible. So, we've got some better armour. It's definitely better. Let's go for it. What have you got? Some chipped scholar's robes. Well, you definitely have better than that. Got a helmet. You got a helm. I'm not sure if that's better or not. Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay, that'll do. What is that? Single-handed. Do you want a shield? Have a shield as well, mate. See how that goes. Good. Right, let's have a quick look at our potions. Not a lot left. Healing potion. I should go for you, really. Right, let's sharpen our blades, shall we? Right. Any skill points? Yes, excellent. Okay, I was really hoping for some more leadership, but they don't look as interesting as I was hoping. Let's have a look. Marking enemies. Okay, I'm going to go for it because I want to enhance this talent tree. It's got more cores. What's that? Haven't got any expressions. The Archons inform me that the recapture of the citadel of Vendrian insurgents continues apace. That they wrote me separately out of their diversion tactical intentions engenders me no small concern, but I trust now in your efforts. May your good judgment see you through the coming confrontation with glory and success, sent back in the safety of our court. Tune on, the adjudicator, Archon of Justice. Yeah, let's thank him. As always, your words fortify me against the imminent difficulty and strife. I eagerly anticipate returning to your hall. A reasonable discussion of the Overlord's legal code appeals greatly after the discord of this campaign. That's cool. Okay, let's save that because we've done a little bit here, and I imagine this is going to be tough as nails. So, we've got an archer sitting right over here. We've got a spellbinder over here. We've got the big boss up here, Ebb. Hang on a sec, Ebb. That's one of our guys. Where's our Ebb? What are you doing over there? Maybe we capture him and bring him to our side. If so, spoilers! Right, let's go and kill this guy over here first. Can we get around the back? Yeah, let's go around the back. No, where are you going? I said around the back, idiots. So, you are the vanguard of Curris' conquest. Not as tall as I imagined, but we can't all choose our executioners. Already, word of our defiance spread throughout the land, so your 7 guys are stupid if you think our war ends here. So this is Tarxus Ari, de facto leader of a dwindling Vanindrian court. Short, sunburned and agitated, even when standing still. Her body is compact and a sculpture of muscle and bone, and her face is not short on symmetry thanks to the scars and dents of a dozen brushes of death. Though your lives will certainly end here in Ascension Hall, consider yourselves fortunate. Some of the finest rulers of Apex met death by duel in this hallowed hall. Truly there's no finer place to settle an intractable feud. Sisters, brothers, it has been a privilege to lead and an honour to share in your final days. You bring a lot of magic to fight directly beneath the spire, trying to bury us all? Just what sort of inbred fool are you? That's a risk I'm willing to take. Well, that's not a risk I'm willing to take. Wonderful. Get back here! What was I thinking bringing cowardly scribes to a sword fight? Ed was right about the lot of you. Haha, excellent. Sisters, brothers, it's been a privilege to lead and an honour to share in your final days. What did you hope to gain from your rebellion? Nothing that we haven't already gained, our pride, our dignity. These things you can never take from us. The Vendrian Guard can never stand against all Icarus' forces, but we can teach others to resist, and maybe you'll run out of soldiers before we run out of stubbornness. But I doubt it. You already use Icarus' currency, speak the language. Military control is a formality. But that's just sophistry. Kairos speaks our language, not the other way round. Besides, that proves nothing other than common history. But the Fatebinder is saying Kairos is not one enemy, but a massive force that can reach even in times of peace. Armies and edicts are just two of the bloodier ways Kairos can control you. Seems like an uprising amounted to nothing but dead kingsmen. And what did taking Vendrian's well cost you? How many disfavoured corpses rust in the valley? How many choirmen fell to our blades? How goes the endless battle of the Blade Grave while you deal with us here? Did the armies bond in camaraderie over our deaths? Our stand here is the first of your problems. You've traded your kinsmen to slow the inevitable, nothing more. We demonstrated that the armies of Kairos can be shamed by stubborn peasants. The Overlord's empire is vast, his armies numerous, his magic unstoppable, yet he cannot destroy our fighting spirit, hardly the show of force I'd expect from a truly fearsome Overlord. I hope that argument keeps you warm in the emptiness of the void, Guardman. Any last words? Yes, tell the voices of Nerat we're both thankful for his aid. Couldn't have made it this far without his support. Ah, well, we're glad we killed him then.
Send me your shit!
No, you come over here, dude.
And one.
Nice.
At once.
Await my signal! Sorry about that!
Oh my god, I'm almost dead. That's better. Right, as soon as we get that bowman out of the way, we'll be okay. Me done.
Aye. You still with me, boss?
How annoying.
Take me if you can. At once. At once. I will aid you. I'll hit you twice as hard next time!
Not a problem, boss. Don't know about you, but I feel like fighting someone.
You worthless gnats, we may die, but others will follow our example. Mark my words, for Captain coughs up blood. You've bested their leadership, most impressive. Remind me never to underestimate the skills of a fate binder. I don't really want to betray their alliance, because I'm having quite fun with them. I'm sure your archer will be pleased that I managed to do your job for you. Oh well, that's not so good, is it? I had all the organisation of the logistics and now you want to claim the glory? Well, at least you have the skills to back your arrogance, so I can respect that. Good. May pox take your children. With those words of defeat, the burning hum you've heard in your head for days on end tapers off into nothing. Your mind returns to a state of quiet you'd not felt since you proclaimed the edict upon Vendrian's wall. So I lay claim to Ascension Hall. Let us be free of this edict. You feel a tug at your chest, warm energy begins to form around you, and before you know it, you feel that you are lighter than air. Ding! Blink away at the last of luminescent trails of your field of vision. The masonry of ancient tool is replaced with a wide open space in every direction, save for a slab of ancient stone beneath your feet. High winds shove you, pushing off balance. The air is cool and thin, unsatisfying to your lungs. Is this? Yes, this must be the mountain spire. When was the last time? I may need to retch. This is certainly a change. Damn cold change. Think I could land on my feet if I jumped? Not without a matter for long. Kairos be merciful, what now? Barak spins around on his feet, looking about, trying to take in as much as he can through a narrow visor of his helmet. Everywhere you look, mountains rise along a distant horizon. The rivers and forests below bring to mind maps of Vendrian as well, and you quickly trace the Tyranny, the Oronev, and all the numerous waterways of the region. Higher than you imagined it. It's indeed the pinnacle of the spire at Vendrian's well. How do we get all the way up here? Harry strains to stand up. Another question, how in the name of Grave and Ash do we get down? The Iron Marshal walks to the edge, trembling a half-pace back as she peers downwards. Warriors below must be sensing the edict's ended. We should be down there by their side. The edict is gone, and I don't think we're dead. We could all feel the edict passing. No doubt the soldiers below were sensing it too, and the Archons as well. Well, I'm claiming this place. It's now an extension of Tunan's court, and all combatants must leave. It's no longer strictly a military concern. We need to take a breath and sift through what just happened. You could claim this place for Tunon? That would actually be a strategic advantage for the disfavoured. We can't spare the soldiers to garrison this place. Yet we'd like to deny the chorus every foothold possible. I will happily counsel Graven Ash to support this claim. Send word that we are successful. That was a worthy battle. Not since Stalwart I've seen such courage, such determination. Oh, but the siege needed you spans ago. Agreed, and I'll be honoured to deliver your auspicious message in person, but... We hand her a note. The parchment will survive the impact. I have my reservations about getting involved with you, Fatebinder. This puts them all to rest. I couldn't be more pleased to stand at your side right now. What? Harry rears up, you bloodthirsty... Take a dictation, please, Lantry. If you so require it, I will spare you the comment about wishing my work made an impact. A quill appears in one hand, parchment in the other, and Lantry writes in long flowing hand your declaration of control once done. He hands the parchment with a stern look. This is barbaric. The Avenging Guard have lost enough for one day. Tuck the note in Arrow's gauntlet. Push her off the edge. No, please. Weakened from injury and fatigue, Harry struggles against your grip. But to no avail, you drag her thrashing and bucking to the side of a spire. You slide your note into the sleeve of her gauntlet and give the Oathbreaker a swift kick. Wow. Mwahaha! That does get a laugh. For several seconds you hear her screaming. Eventually the sound fades away, drowned out by the whirling winds. This is tyranny! No doubt I'm a very definition of the enemy of the Overlord. I didn't just resist, I lead others into resistance. So I know what's about to happen, but I know when I've met my match, and like most folk, I'll do whatever it takes to live. If you show me mercy, I'll pledge my life to you, good Fatebinder. Thought that might happen. I know I'm an Oathbreaker, so my word isn't what it used to be, but I promise if you spare me, I will serve you well. My mercy has a price. What will stay your hand if not my service? Is it wealth you desire? I have plenty stashed away through your tears. I will lead you to it. I want the knowledge of the Tidecasters. If that is what you require... She locks her eyes with yours, her face stern and cold. I will endeavour to train you. It may take time. But if I'm left alive in good health, I will show you the secrets of a school of tides. And swear fealty to me. I, Ebb of the Tidecasters, do hereby pledge my life and loyalty to Taichi Gardney. I will serve and obey until such time I'm fleed from my observations. Good. Okay. Our party's full. Okay. So
I will return to our holdfast at once.
laters, taters. You claimed Ascension Hall with your disfavoured allies, satisfying the term with a baleful edict. Forces of Kairos are free from the Overlord's death sentence. Threat of execution no longer looming, the Overlord's armies turn their attention away from Mephisto and toward each other. The tensions that flared reached an explosive crescendo as the disfavoured Scarlet Chorus armies clashed iron and bronze in hasty, disorganised battle. As the forces were cut down, the voices of Narat and his officers escaped to the Stone Sea, leaving the conscript army to carry on their battle with the disfavoured. In the aftermath, disfavoured broke camp and withdrew to their fortress in the Blade Grave, there to regroup and prepare for the extended campaign against the Scarlet Chorus. Having taken vengeance well for yourself, Archon and Ash recognise your lawful claim to rule and occupy the spire. As days passed, the wounded and injured were nursed to health. You explored your strange bastion, planned the next steps with careful deliberation. As word spreads that the Scarlet Chorus and disfavoured turned on each other, factions once resolved to bend to the knee are expired, instead to continue fighting. The Archons fueled, as heralded the collapse of Kairos' offensive. Tune on, the Archon of Justice observes the chaos and discord spreading through your land. The Archon summons his Fatebinder to return to court at the Bastard City to report on our actions in Vendrian's Well. Civil War. What a shame it descended into this. Archer and Atch will want to meet and discuss the next steps. Best that you regroup an iron half. Gather your strength and regroup, but don't leave the Archon waiting. Send Ash my regards. The General has done much for me, and I wish he was here to see this. I will join the Archon after I speak with Tunon. That would be best. It's not enough that we're fighting 2 wars now, we have this puzzle through. I don't envy your position. I'll see you at Iron Hearth. Indeed. Dizzying energy from Spire falters. Whatever falter awake the powers that reside here, gutters and fades. For a faint hum persists in the sculpture at the centre. That's odd, there was a portal here a moment ago, but it seems to have vanished. Calm down, I'll fix this. This magic's older than anything I've witnessed. I'd rather seek the Archon's guidance and fiddle with it. The humming from a curious sculpture pulses and builds in volume, as if to draw your attention. Closer inspection, a series of symbols carved around the base of the structure come into view. One symbol pulses with a blue-white glow. The pattern resembles the glowing lines of light seen on the floor of Ascension Hall, moments before you found yourself transported above the clouds. As you stare at the symbol, a chill of wind abates in your chest, swells with warmth. The air finally feels welcoming. Your lungs feel sated at last. You state your claim on the tower and everything in it. Whatever that sculpture is, it belongs to you. I can feel the power running through this place. You can sense the manuscript of the spire even from down below, but up here, this close to the axis of the spire, the deluge of energy is numbing. I feel dizzy. Do you feel dizzy? Touch the sculpture. Stone smooth and cool. Marbling patterns move with the curves of the sculpture, looking more akin to veins than imperfections of rock. You can't find a single marking to suggest an artisan's tool. As you're about to draw your finger away, you feel a sudden return of pressure to your fingertip as the sculpture touches you back. The sculpture's once again still. There is a rush of warmth throughout your body, a jolt of enervation that steadies your balance. A barrage of tactile sensation floods into your mind as you feel footsteps and wind, but not on your face or your limbs. A moment later, a flood of information begins to make sense. You're feeling the wind against the spire and even the weight of your own feet as if a spire were a second spire. With this connection made, you feel your awareness pull from this place, not as a traveller, but as one glimpsing the world from impossibly far away. In this moment there is nothing you cannot see, but you can see it nearly all at once in a flood of sensations that's difficult to pass. You see a spire at the crossing of an ancient stone structure, 2 walls extending off into the distance. At the base of this eternal spire, settlers and merchants act in every way unconcerned, toiling under the observation of unforgiving taskmasters. As the shadow of the spire falls over them, the mood changes. The settlers pause in shared unease and look up into the sky, towards you. Some of the faces looking at you are familiar, and you recognise this place as Lethian's Crossing, where you served during the war. Near the settlement, built at the joining of the ancient walls, you see a breach in the massive masonry, a cleft into the forbidden, hidden world within the old walls. Now let's go to the spire. The spire feels similar to one you now occupy, but instead of radiating arcane life, it reeks of dust and crumbling stone, a branch withering once pulled from its tree. It reaches for you with barely perceptible tug. Shadows envelop you, muting all sound and vision with slight delay. There's a feeling of perversion, of wrongness. Whatever arcane powers allowing your senses to drift free of your body seems to falter in this place. Figures halt the stone halls. Drifting animations of cloud, claw and fang, they pay you no heed, but you fear them all the same. In the depths of this forbidden place, the deepest chamber is bathed in light. An arcane symbol illuminates the floor, though the details hurt your eyes when you focus. With a gentle tug, your focus pulls you back to a new horizon, but it takes a moment to recognise it at Vendrian as well. You've returned to the awareness of your immediate surroundings, the effect leaves you unsteady on your feet. The link between you and the spire recedes. The arcane bond is still present, but the mystical energies for the moment are quiet. Your body flooded with excitement and fatigue. It's unclear whether the mystic connection is strengthening you or siphoning. The tower offers nothing in the way of answer, and you know that asking would only yield more silence and mystery. The deluge of sensation is over, but the positions of the other spires still linger in your mind. From your vantage point atop the mountain spire, you can easily spot the mysterious structures, each of them rising high above their distant surroundings. Strange. Ebb curls her fingers and draws a quick sigil in the air. The magic of this place responds to you. The portal, the braziers, it all grows more vibrant when you approach. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's worth remembering where you ended Kairos' edict. That's no small feat. Maybe your connection to this place is related. Either way, sounds like something for the arcane-minded to investigate. Be sure to see me after your audience with Tunon. We cannot let the Scarlet Choruses gain hold in the tears. Together we will wipe them from this land. Come to me as soon as you can, Fatebinder. We've got a lot of work to do. I honestly forgot you were there. Sculpture doesn't respond. Okay, so it looks like these are all the different locations then. So these will be different portals that obviously open up at a later stage. Good. Okay, let's have a look. What's needed next? Travel to Tunan's Court. Cool. A well-dressed older woman stands apart from milling crowds of nobles. Greetings! Anda Lucretius, formerly of Thistleholm. You have a look at someone who belongs here, a Fatebinder, no doubt. Do you need something from me? What are these nobles doing in Tunan's Court? Trying to look brave, but if you crane near to any of our conversations, you'll hear a different tale. 3 years since Tunon set up shop in the city, we're still getting used to our new masters and figuring out what we can and can't ask them. These are smart, ring-plenty folk. The way they approach Tunon, you think they were raised under a tyrant's lash. Some here have come to settle a grievance, others to pledge fealty. I've been standing around long enough to know that the adjudicator doesn't care for empty gestures. Okay. Don't need to know your life story. Any petitioners that displease Tunon would meet their fate in the pits below the court. These are all just nobles. Fine.
You call yourselves officers of Kairos' army, but your conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrian's well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
Your Honor, I've relayed the events I experienced them. You can well imagine why my version conflicts with his. She makes a dismissive gesture to the Scarlet Chorus representative. On my honour, a matter of great general, I'd sooner snap my sword than perjure myself before you, Archon. Oh, so you simply imply that the falsehood comes easier to my lips than yours. You're a fool if you believe the Archon of Justice won't see through your lies, because the disfavoured think themselves better than an honest gang.
Silence! The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities threshed from truths. If we find you have perjured yourselves, Bled and Mark will see to your fate. Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other. In addition to violating Kairos' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began shortly after your arrival. Tell us what transpired.
The Archons have been in different minds since the start of this war.
Your perspective is appreciated, but the dispositions of the two Archons are already a matter of record. Loyal subjects of Kairos have drawn blood from each other, a cardinal crime. Something happened at Vendrian's Well to trigger this feud.
The Archons could not agree on who should lead the siege and descended into accusations of treachery. It seemed like a mutual spat. Disfavored were more deserving of this honour. Tactics and training that's outmatched the Vendrian Guard at every turn. What balderdash, a disfavored couldn't tip over a straw hut if they had a week to strategize. Our howling mob was much better equipped to overcome the Vendrian Guard. Our recruits were ready to throw themselves at the enemy. If only Ash and his legion would agree on a plan.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warn you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign. But I will return to that in time. Let us speak of Ascension Hall. The disfavored sing your praises across the realm, though the Scarlet Chorus appeal for charges of treason. Perhaps you can offer a more enlightened account.
Well, I took the citadel with my own cunning, employing a small group of disfavored as a distraction.
Curious. So you needed a distraction and employed Kairos' elite, not the useless rabble of the Scarlet Chorus.
The Voices of Nerat provoked Ash at every turn. I suspected treachery.
I will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for it. Is there anything you wish to add at this time?
I told you all I know.
Your testimony is accepted by the court. The statements of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder. A shipment of iron weapons was short on arrival. Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error. One of my agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective. Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there. Petitioners, leave us. I would have a private audience with the Fatebinder. Ascend and join me. You will find the way opened.
Can't do that.
And I've learned that there is a way to turn off that annoying can't do that speech. So we'll definitely work on that at some point. If I can remember.
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kairos' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers. Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage, and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the Tears.
We may both be guilty.
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos. As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name. But you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice. The disfavored seem the logical first step in your inquiry. The Legion holds you in some esteem. Engraven Ash has shown deference to the court in times past. No doubt the disfavored will be rife with accusations and evidence against the voices of Nerat. Graven Ash is a noble man, but never underestimate his capacity for deception. A wise general succeeds by knowing when to be unreadable to the enemy. You should, of course, speak with the Scarlet Chorus and gather their testimony, but it stands to reason that most in the chorus would sooner brag about a pauldron fashioned from your skull than entertain your questions. Do not regret killing the rabble that impede your investigation. They will be easily replaced.
Interrogating the Scarlet Chorus seems like an expedient
The
move.
conscription methods of the Scarlet Chorus open the doors to the loyal and the wretched alike. No doubt those who are aligned to the chorus out of survival will be the most forthcoming. The genuinely loyal members of the chorus will likely lie with abandon to protect the voices of Nerat. Your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel. The disfavored have made use of the Sage's network of dovecotes and messenger birds as they come under capture. I've heard multiple claims of strategic communications gone missing. The Sages are broken, their citadel in flames, but they were not slaughtered to the last. Some of their numbers still congregate around the smoking husk of their burning library. If they have been reading disfavored communications, learn what they learned, then execute them. The Oathbreakers were reported to be using iron armaments, more than they might acquire from looting what few disfavored they killed. Any iron in the tiers not rusted through was made by forge-bound hands in Lethian's Crossing. Between craftsman and quartermaster, someone let iron fall into enemy hands. Investigate this matter and bring the thieves to justice. There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
I suggest some cream.
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kairos, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire. Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
Well, I'm in a privileged position to accomplish incredible
It
deeds.
pleases me that you grasp your role, as long as you temper it with a sense of duty. Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kairos' army and the local tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential. You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title. Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Great deeds will define me.
You begin to understand. Whether your acts are favorable or heinous, it falls to you to bring greatness to this campaign. You are dismissed. Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the tiers in Kairos' name.
Tyrus raps his gavel against the floor, a singular note resounding amongst the hall. And then he disappears like Dungeon Master in Dungeons & Dragons. Oh, there he is.
Can't do that.
Right, so these must be our fellow Fatebinders. I'd immolate you right now, if it wasn't for Tunon breathing down our necks. He ignores you with a stern and distant impression. expression. Blood mulch. Fatebinder, you're no stranger to Tuna's court, but I prefer to spend as little time here as possible. In spite of these closed walls, I feel strangely exposed. Fair warning, when you back to Ash, you're as good as signing your death warrant. But we shouldn't discuss such matters in a court of law. You'll make our time in the tears an interesting one. Of course you will. Fine. So those are scarlets. Anything beats a prolonged siege, eh, Fatebinder? Enjoy the war while you can. Didn't think I'd make it out of that pass alive. You done well, Fatebinder. I'm ill at ease with this polished hall, but I'll admit it's a reprieve from a battlefield and training grounds. If Ash needs me to stay here, I'll represent his interests throughout the occupation. I'll be up to the tasks. Can't be worse than our days in Lethian's Crossing. Looking aside, you were generous to grant me disfavoured control over the city. Even the Iron Legion needs a break from a front every once in a while. Well, I've got you back, guys. I've back to my horse. I'm going to go for it. Ah, here's the Fatebinders. So, Nunaville. Taichi Gardney, you return unscathed once more, and more acclaimed than ever. It seems to be your way. Come, we must regale me with all the journeys held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. Oh, we're friends, are we? Speak as you wish. I'd pay up boars waiting rings to know your thoughts. Come, let us speak freely. I have claimed the spire at Vendrian's Well. So the court whispers are true. Someday I'd like to witness for myself this tower that's risen above the realms like a blade thrust into the sky. Yeah, there's a lot of lore behind that one. Fatebinder Callio. Taichi Gardney, I see you've returned to the fold. Your exploits in Vendrian Well are a matter of some discussion. What can I do for you? Well, I've got some concerns about war. We cannot crush the opposition with such weak efforts. We're too lenient. I don't disagree with you, but bear in mind that these southern barbarians are being welcomed into the Empire. Kairos placed no value in the mountain of Tearsman corpses, at least none that I can fathom. Fatebinder Groveless. You look as you've got questions for me to untangle. Ask, I'm feeling generous. What do you think about the other Fatebinders? You have to be more specific. What do you believe about Fatebinder of War? Nunaville's keen, brash and a hearty braggart with a fondness for bloodshed. He can be utterly unbearable at times. His justice is fair, even if he skews towards rather exacting and uncompromising punishments at times. Okay, that's fine. Can you tell me about the old walls and the Bane? So these are the ancient structures. So the Bane are creatures that are found in the old walls. Okay, that's good. I think we're done. Hello. Bleeding Mark. Welcome back, kid. Amusing as it would to be to watch the edict drop, I guess I'm glad you lived. Bleeding Mark, arching the shadows, rouses from a faraway stare, turning to face you with a wry smile. Though he stands still, he seems to sift in and out of the shadows, but shroud him. Wow, try and say that 3 times really quickly. Here, you threw your rings on Graven Ash's side. Not a bad bet. I picked the Archon of War. But to tell you the truth, do you go with Ash because it seemed like the right thing to do, or because sporting with voices was the worst option? What sane creature would trust the voice of Narat? One does like to win a battle every once in a while. At least the voice of Narat isn't consumed by grief or hesitation like some of the Archons I know. Don't mistake him, the Archon of Secrets thrives on mistrust. When everyone believes you're lying, speak of the truth as a fine blade with which to cut your enemy. All that matters is the edict of execution was stayed. Those stationed at Vendry as well should be thanking you for their lives. Now, I assume you're off to meet Vash, but first, I need to have a little chat. Okay? Everyone's keeping an eye on you because you did something nobody's done before. Got to guess what that might be? I'm the first Fatebinder to awaken the spire of the old walls. You're not wrong, it's definitely a shock, but I doubt it's the sole reason you've made the tears tremble. Proclaiming an edict isn't new, neither is surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict. You were first to proclaim and resolve the very same edict and it didn't kill you. In one fell swoop you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, and woke an arcane structure that once slept for several centuries. Glare silently. I don't care what you do with the information, but you should know the danger in now. You've put yourself on the map. Sticking with a disfavor is a smart idea. At least smarter than getting mixed up with the Archer and the Secrets. You'll never really be one of them, even if you value Ash's warriors. They'll serve you as best you can. Okay. The Archer in the Shadows shrugs. Good. Okay, can I talk to you guys? No. No, there's no dialogue options. Okay, fine. Right, where are we going then? Evidence against the voice of Narats. Right, well, I really want to go and get some evidence against the voice of Narats. It doesn't tell me where to go. I think this might be just something that you kind of note down as you go along. So this is investigating the spires, and this is meeting Graven Ash at Iron Hearth. Okay, let's go to Iron Hearth, seeing as it's the only place that's really listed. Everything else is a bit obscure. Sunset Spire, Iron Hearth, here we go. Let's do it. Okay, this has been Pinky's Palace. It's been a lot of exposition today, not a lot of combat. I'd imagine that's going to change now. So we're going to leave it here for now, and we'll have you back again, hopefully soon, for more Tyranny here at Pinky's Palace. Thank you for stopping by. Goodbye.